he tried to this reflect should does not help their
Jesus never
copy right here. The question box answers 52nd or 52nd thousand. It's a preface by, once again, the same Cardinal Gibbons that you see writing for Faith of Our Fathers. Centuries, practice, and tradition. In keeping the Sunday, they are following a law of the Catholic Church. During the first 3 centuries, practice and tradition had consecrated the Sunday to the worship of God. In the year 300, the Council of Elvira made a law a definitive one. Now, you're going to find different claims to different councils because, once again, this not being a directive by God. If the Bible is the only guide for the Christian on the commandment of God, who can find no warrant in its pages from the day from the 7th to the 1st. Some of their people went on to bet $1,000 wages or wagers that could anybody prove from the Bible alone that one is bound under grievous sin to keep Sunday holy. Once again, the underlying argument being this was based on ecclesiastical authority, not divine authority. In fact, if the Bible is the only guide for the Christian, then the Seventh-day Adventist is right in observing the Saturday with the Jew. We have a copy of this book as well, original copy. This is actually our copy right here. The question box answers 52nd or 52nd thousand. It's a preface by, once again, the same Cardinal Gibbons that you see writing for Faith of Our Fathers, and he also wrote the preface, I believe, for the Catholic Mirror as well. We have another Catholic priest right here. People who think that the Scripture should be the sole authority, in other words, if you're sola scriptura, should logically become Seventh-day Adventists and keep Saturday holy. Seventh-day Adventists are right in accusing other Protestants of inconsistency who speak of any obligation of Sunday observance whilst rejecting the authority of the Catholic Church. Here's another statement. Be sure of it, your Seventh-day Adventist friends are telling the truth when they say it was the Catholic Church which changed the day of worship from the Jewish Sabbath to the Christian Sunday. If Protestants would follow the Bible, they should worship God on the Sabbath day. In keeping the Sunday, they are following a law of the Catholic Church. During the first 3 centuries, practice and tradition had consecrated the Sunday to the worship of God. In the year 300, the Council of Elvira made a law a definitive one. Now, you're going to find different claims to different councils because, once again, this not being a directive by God, you're going to find all kinds of differing opinions. For example, he mentions Elvira there, but you can just as easily find a catechism here that mentions the Council of Laodicea. So you're going to run into differing opinions, and that's part of the problem when you're dealing with man-made traditions is you might find some differences in arguments. Here's another statement. The Protestant mind does not seem to realize that in accepting the Bible, in observing the Sunday, they are accepting the authority of the spokesman for the Church, the Pope. Now, this statement, obviously, we've already seen previously where they state that Sunday was not based upon the Bible. So I would say if you're accepting the Bible, you're not really accepting the authority of the Church, at least in matters of Sunday. But if you are accepting and observing Sunday, you are accepting the ecclesiastical authority of the Roman Catholic Church. And that's really going to put people to a test at the end of time. Once again, we see right here in the Bible Standard some Church of Christ admissions at the outward observance.
If you are a Catholic, you believe the Church has the authority to change the law. The Bible does not do this. If your Pope speaks for Jesus, that's what you should be defending. You should be agreeing with Adventists. The problem is, Jesus taught no such thing. Whose authority do you accept? If you accept the authority of the Church, and for all practical purposes, keep Sunday as the new Sabbath. But Jesus didn't do that. You know what it says in the Bible? It says, after Jesus died, they kept the Sabbath according to the commandment. Why don't you? Well, if you accept the authority of the church and kiss the Pope's ring, you should be Catholic. Anybody who keeps Sunday as the Sabbath should be a Catholic. Otherwise, you're a blatant hypocrite. May God have mercy on your soul. God bless.